Hi guys, my name is Georgina Gutierrez and this is my technology-infused assessment module. So the first thing I'm going to cover is my perceptions of English language learners and their needs in the classroom before taking this class. So one of the things before taking this class that I thought was that ELs only get assessed to see if they are eligible to enter into the regular classroom. Something else I thought was that ELs should avoid using their native language at school. Another thing is that ELs lose their culture once integrated into the classroom setting. And lastly, that parents of ELs should try to speak English to their children even if their proficiency is lacking outside of the classroom. The second half to the first part is to talk about my perceptions of English language learners and their needs in the classroom after taking this class. So after taking this class, I learned a few things. One of them being that it is encouraged to give students opportunities to further develop and or use their first language to promote academic and social development. A second thing I learned is that it is important to know the diversity of your classroom, which includes all students and their backgrounds. The more linguistically and culturally diverse the children are, the closer a teacher must relate academic content to a child's own environment and experience. This will help in creating a safe environment and meaningful learning. A third thing I learned is that EL students actually get assessed often, and this is to identify their placement in school, to determine readiness to exit or leave a special program, monitor progress, and it holds students accountable for meeting those local standards. After this class, I also grasped the importance of L1 and how it is more than just a language, but a form of intimacy. If L1 is lost, this could lead to possible destruction of that intimacy and can result in students losing their native identity. Parents should freely talk to their students in their native language at home to keep that intimacy intact. For part 3 of this project, I had to look at 5 common misconceptions about working with English language learners and or learning a second language. Myth 1: communication is not possible because of language barriers. In reality, technology is a help in promoting communication through videos and audio recordings. Being understanding and patient makes communication easier. Myth 2: students need to be corrected when they're speaking English. In reality, correcting often decreases students' self-confidence, and it is important to be supportive of the students through their learning. Myth 3: all English language learners are immigrants. The reality of this is that many language learners are not immigrants and have actually been born in the United States. Some ELs are international students as well. Myth 4: all English language learners share similar backgrounds, cultures, and socioeconomic statuses. In reality, teachers need to focus on students from an individualistic point of view. All students are special individuals, and teachers need to connect with them in their own unique way. And the last myth, myth 5, students cannot use their first language in the classroom. In reality, cognitive and academic development of a student's first language provides crucial support for second language acquisition. As part of the project, I had to look at 5 critical concepts and our theories that I learned in this class. For the first one, I looked at the PRISM model, which consists of 4 components: sociocultural, linguistic, academic, and cognitive processes. This helps me in better understanding ELLs because the 4 components influence first and second language acquisition. These 4 components are interdependent. All components need to be grown, and if one is neglected, this could derail a student's overall growth. The second concept is survey question read, recite, record, review. This is a study skill that students can use for outlining information of a text. With surveys, students skim the reading assignment. Question, formulated based on headings and subheadings. Read to find the answer to a question. Record, which is writing everything down. Review material of the outline. This strategy can help students develop skills to work independently. The third concept, I looked at the input hypothesis, which is a formula represented with a lowercase I, an addition sign, and a 1, where the lowercase I represents input and the +1 represents a level above the learner's proficiency. The developer of this hypothesis believes that if we want learners to develop proficiency in their second language, then we need to teach it at a scaffolded level slightly above their comprehension to make it comprehensible. For the fourth theory, I looked at the iceberg model. BICS is located at the top, which stands for Basic Interpersonal Communicative Skills. This language is conversational and social language. CALP is at the bottom, which stands for Cognitive and Academic Language Proficiency. CALP relates to academic language.
Cummins developed the iceberg to distinguish between Bix and Calp. The model represents that learners develop conversational skills first and that it takes longer to develop academic language. The last theory I looked at was the Quadrant Theory. One axis is concerned with cognitive challenge, and the other of how contextualized the language demand is of an activity. This theory makes sure that teachers are able to devise a rich context for ELs to keep the cognitive challenge high. For the last part of the project, I had to determine 10 takeaways in the form of do's and don'ts. Do you get to know your students on an individual level? Do be mindful of the diverse culture in your classroom? Do utilize L1 language? Do involve parents? And do speak slowly and clearly, giving students enough time to respond. For the second half of the final part of the project, I explored what I will not do in my classroom. Don't stereotype. Don't lecture the entire time. Don't ban students from using their native language. Don't simply tell students what to do and expect them to do it. And lastly, and the most important, don't give up.